All right. They probably looking like, what we doing? All right, y'all, we here, y'all, we here. Let's start this off right. Yeah, yeah. What's good, y'all? What's great? Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Lovechild. I'm joined with my co-host, my brother from another mother. Blood couldn't make us any closer. One of the best photographers in the world, my brother Santana. Say something to the people.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Appreciate y'all for tuning in on this Thursday night. Y'all could have been anywhere else, but y'all here with us, and we appreciate that. And just for that, we got a jam-packed show for y'all tonight, and we just gonna get right into it. You heard?
Yeah, so y'all, I want to thank y'all again for just tapping in. I want to thank y'all for supporting the music as well. I just have my second single. Well, not, I keep saying single. I have a second song off my Ready to Live album off of Spotify that went over 100,000 streams, y'all. Last week, y'all had Juicy went over 100,000 streams, and this week y'all had Trophy Room go over 100,000 streams from that Ready to Live album. So again, thank y'all for supporting the music, and that's just on Spotify by itself. I'm not even talking about Apple Music. That's a whole nother thing going on with Apple Music, SoundCloud, YouTube Music. I'm just talking about just for you for SoundCloud alone. Y'all are supporting that music. Y'all support it everywhere, but I'm just pointing that out in particular at SoundCloud for Spotify. So thank y'all again for supporting the music as well. Don't forget, y'all, we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers for the channel. We at 9,300, if I'm not mistaken. So we almost there. So let's continue to strive, push forward. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Like, subscribe, and share. And it's going to continue to grow, y'all. All right, y'all already know first subject of the night, first popular opinions segment of the night. The segment's brought to you by OUV Records, as y'all see right there. Make sure y'all go to Instagram at OUV Records and stay in tune to the latest music and merchandise. Don't forget the label model is create, document, and inspire. All right, first question of the night. Uh, Most recognizable movie house on this list. Most recognizable movie house on this list. Number one, the Twilight House. Number two, Nightmare on Elm Street house. Number three, the Home Alone house. Number four, the Scream house. Let us know what y'all think in the chat.
Nah, I'm gonna have to go with the Home Alone house.
The Home Alone house. Why the Home Alone house?
It's the most recognizable house there is in that list.
Anything that just like anything about the house kind of just like sticks out?
It's because the Home Alone. You know what I'm saying? It's a classic movie in the house. You know what I'm saying? He's home alone. Majority of the time, he's at the house. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's why for me, it's more of a memorable house in the movie.
Do you remember the video game?
Nah, I don't remember the video game.
The video game was popping. Video game was popping. I remember the Home Alone video game where you could go from Kevin's house to the neighbor's house, and you might run into, I think, what's the dude's name, Steve and Marv or something like that. Like I forget the crooks' names or whatever, but the Wet Bandits. You go run into the Wet Bandits as you trying to procure the other people's houses. You know what I'm saying? You go up the stairs, you trying to come down the stairs, and the Wet Bandit might be coming up the joint, and you got to run to like a secret little booby trap spot so they could fall through the booby trap. Your Home Alone was popping. The video game was popping. All right, so you went with Home Alone. Oh, don't forget, shout out to some of our day ones in the building. King Prince, Lisa, Krista in the building, Ebony in the building. Thank y'all for tapping in. Appreciate that. And King Prince, one of our badge holders. Make sure y'all go get your badges. You can tap into the membership portion of the page. Link is in the bio. All right, so again, you went with Home Alone. For me, on this list, Twilight House is recognizable, popping. The Scream House comes in a close second for me. I'm going with Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm going with Nightmare on Elm Street. For me, I could just always recognize that creepy ass crib, like no matter what. Maybe because the movies came out ever since I was a youngin', but it's something about that creepy ass house, no matter what color that they painted. It's like, nah, that's Freddy's crib. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna try to get me to walk up in the spot when I know this is Freddy's spot. So for me, is the Nightmare on Elm Street house. My brother went with the Home Alone house. In the chat, I'm seeing Home Alone. They saying 3 Home Alone house. The rest of the world at 38% went with the Scream house. What do you think about that?
I'm surprised, but all right, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, they market that house in a way where it makes it easy to remember, because if you remember in the second one, they did a movie about the movie. You know what I'm saying? And then they had like a fake set. Or was it the third one? It was the third one, because the second one was they was in college. So the third one is like they made the fake set, and you know what I'm saying. They reenacted everything, and then they try to, you know what I'm saying. So I guess people went with that instead of everything else. So quite interesting, quite interesting. All right, moving on to our next popular opinion question. Remember, these are not our questions; these are the world questions. So stick to the answers in the questions, y'all. All right, next question. Most unique rap voice on this list. Most unique rap voice on this list. Number one, DMX. Number two, Snoop Dogg. Number three, Pop Smoke. Number four, Young Thug. Let us know what y'all think in the chat.
I'm going with DMX, pioneer of that rough, gritty, hard voice that he had when he was rapping and stuff. So I'm gonna go with DMX.
You going with the X Man?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so for me on this list, everybody on this voice do have a real distinct voice. I mean, Young Thug voice is very noticeable once you get used to his voice. Um, but for me, I think it's Snoop Dogg. I think Snoop Dogg has the most recognizable voice on any record at any time in any period. Um, he's crazy smooth. You hear that criminology, you hear that gangster boogie all at the same time. So for me, it's Snoop Dogg. For me, it's Snoop Dogg. Again, I went with Snoop Dogg. My brother went with DMX. In the chat, they're going with Pop Smoke. Yeah, Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke do deserve some votes. I'll say that Pop Smoke do deserve some votes. But at 45%, the rest of the world went with DMX. What do you think about that?
Right. Yeah, it was very. It makes more sense because of him being the pioneer and the most unique voice out of that. You know what I'm saying? And he came out first with that unique voice, so I gotta give it up to X for that.
Gotta give it to the X Man. All right, so moving on to our next segment, Hollywood Need to Ask Us, y'all. We came up with this segment because we got better ideas than Hollywood. So they giving us a whole bunch of movies we didn't ask for. So we got the better ideas. Whether it's a movie or a series, documentary, we got the juice. You want to start this one off?
No, you can go ahead.
All right, so for me, I want to see. I don't know if y'all remember a movie called Mo Better Blues. This movie was so pivotal and so fire, set in the '90s, where um, you had Denzel Washington, Wesley Snipes, Giancarlo Esposito. That cast was so star-studded. Spike Lee directed and act in it as well, along with Bill Nunn. I mean, the list goes on and on as far as the cast, and I know I'm missing like a few people from that cast that was top tier, big level people that you've seen in Transformer movies and the whole 9 yards. I want to see a new version of that, but instead of jazz, because it was so pivotal that they covered jazz at that time, because at that time was the introduction of hip hop, and hip hop was basically the new thing at the time. It's the hip genre. that jazz genre, they were shedding light and history on that jazz drama and making it cool at that particular time. So I want to see a new Mo Better Blues, but hip hop style. I want to see a hip hop version of what Mo Better Blues is. Like hip hop has been the premier genre for the last 40, 50 years. So at the end of the day, I want to see a movie on the cool, on the gritty, on the different textures of hip hop while maintaining those relationships in the storyline, like how Mo Better Blues highlighted those storylines. I would like to see that in hip hop style and hip hop form.
Mm,
That's the movie I want to see. So instead of
nice,
Mo Better
nice.
Blues, you know, people could play with the title as far as what they would call it, but I would like to see a movie regarding on that.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
For me,
let the people know what yours is. I gotta grab something real quick, but let the people know what yours was real quick. Go ahead.
so mine's is I want to see a documentary about American dance. So different genres and different locations where they have their pretty much their dance, their culture dance. If you go to California, predominantly LA, they have their dance. Go to New York, they have theirs. Chicago, every state, every you know what I'm saying, every state, every hood got their dance, and I'd love to see a documentary detailing the history of the dance, the name of the dance, where it came from, when the first party or block party where they had the dance being innovative, and from then on just showcasing the history and where the culture of the dance has come from. So if you go to Memphis, Tennessee, they got their dance. If you go to Louisiana, they got theirs. So I would love to see the history of where these dances came from, who was the first DJ to play a song, where the dances first originated, and just to see how the people in those neighborhoods and cultures took those times and those dances and innovated and brought it forth to today, and then so forth into the future. So that's my Hollywood needs to access.
That's dope. Anybody that you would have in mind for that particular role?
Well, it's not a role, it's a documentary. So it's a documentary about different dances. So whoever would be like the forefront in the neighborhood that knows about where that particular dance in their neighborhood came from, they could be the innovator of that segment for that particular genre. Like now I'm saying for that particular neighborhood. Like let's say if it's in Detroit, we go to all the Detroit rappers and talk about when they saw the dance or who innovated the dance for them, whatever the name of the dance is that everybody gravitate to when you're in the party, you know the dance. You know what I'm saying? So well one segment could be in Chicago, another one could be in Milwaukee, it could be in you know what I'm saying? Every state got their dance. So I would love to showcase how culture people came with the culture and their dance. You had the one about music, so you got to have dance with it as well. So we want to see where all these dances came from. And none of these dances, I don't care what nobody tell me, originate in Africa. These is homegrown dances from the hood, from cultured people, from American culture. And we need to showcase American culture in its highest form, because y'all gravitate to American culture. Y'all want to use the hot sauce, but y'all don't want to, you know what I'm saying, give credit where the hot sauce is from. So this is our giving the credit by showcasing dance. Yes, we have hip hop, but I want to see the dances. Like I want to see who came up with all these dances that we see and know today.
Okay, so just to expound on that, right? Would you have a narrator for the documentary?
Yeah, I wouldn't know particular who, but anybody can narrate it. You know what I'm saying?
hmm I think it would be dope too if you're gonna have that type of documentary. It would be dope that if in each area you have the narrator who's known for dance. Like so, for example, we talk about different parts of New York. You might Tiana Taylor is known to be a dancer. Harold Perrineau, he plays Merch from the Best Man. I forgot that he came out as a dancer first You know what I mean? And then he became an actor for real. You know, he was doing both, but you get what I'm saying. Like his foundation is actually in dance. You know, the Alvin Ailey Institute, and when you get to Chicago, you know what I'm saying? Like the different people that represent could also do the narration portion of it as well to gain that more of the authenticity of the city. You see what I'm saying? Like, so each city will be represented, like, you know, just not by the dance, but the voice and the texture of the documentary.
Hmm.
That would be hard. That would be hard. Shout out to Rowan Jack in the building. Make American dance again. American Rowan Jack, Cheeseburger Eddie. That's a fact. Cheeseburger Eddie was busting the crazy. He was doing the crazy moves. Like I don't even understand how a man could munch on the cheeseburger after he done whipped it out his pants. But you know, a hot meal is a hot meal in jail, I guess. But you know, I'm cool on the nuggets. You know what I'm saying? He was pulling out nuggets, cheeseburgers, fillet of fish, milkshakes, all out his drawers, just at the drop of a dime. So you know, that's wild. But shout out to Rowan Jack for tapping in, one of our other badge holders in the building, y'all. All right, moving on to our next segment, our must see segment. I got three fire movies, y'all. Do you want to start this one off, or you want me to start this one off?
You go ahead.
All right, so I got three must see fire movies. I didn't mean to do a theme, but I saw two movies recently, and then I saw the third one, and it was one common thread in a movie. It was Dan Aykroyd. It was all Dan Aykroyd movies. Fire must see movies, though. First movie came out in 1988, directed by Howard Dutch. Stars John Candy, Dan Aykroyd, Rebecca Gordon, Stephanie Fiercy, and Chris Young. This movie is called The Great Outdoors. This movie is about a family that goes out to the great outdoors for a family vacation, and the brother shows up, and the brother is, you know, well to do about the stock market. His wife is well to do, kids. You got the twins, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. It's a must see movie. It's hilarious and still holds up to this day with the comedy. Second must see movie came out in 1983, directed by John Landis. This stars Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis, Dan Amich, and Ralph Bellamy. This movie is called Trading Places. Fire, funny movie, still holds up. This movie's about, again, a stockbroker mogul doing this thing on Wall Street and a young hustler just trying to make it day by day, and you got two big bosses that work for the stock market, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all. Again, tap in to see Trading Places. And my third must see movie came out in 1985, also directed by John Landis. This stars Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, Donna Dixon, Steve Forrest, Robert Painter. This movie is called Spies Like Us. Oh my God, this movie is so funny. Again, it's about two hapless agents who happen to be able to work together, and you have to see the rest of the movie. I won't ruin it for y'all, so make sure you tap in to see Spies Like Us, Trading Places, and The Great Outdoors. Tap in.
Tap in, y'all. Tap in. So this week I don't really have a theme for this one, so it's like a freestyle theme. Random movies again on my list. So the first random movie on this list is called Children of Men. Came out in 2006. Stars Clive Owen, Julianne Moore, Michael Caine, Chitwell Ejiofor, Claire Hope Ashley, Charlie Hunnam, Pam Ferris, Peter Mullen, and Denny Houston. About a post-apocalyptic world that's going into a post-apocalyptic world where nobody has children anymore, and there's one woman who is the only one with a baby who's about to give birth, and you gotta watch the rest of the movie. Fire concept. Doesn't get played a lot, but it was a dope movie, and the concept and themes in this movie is definitely spot on. Next one on this list is called Knowing. Came out in 2009. Stars Nicolas Cage, Rose Byrne, Chandler Canterbury, Laura Robinson, Nadia Townsend, Adrian Pickering, Liam Hemsworth, and Ben Mendelsohn. About a family, this professor, he's a mathematician, and his son keeps finding these sequence of numbers, and you got to watch the rest of the movie to find out what these numbers mean. Dope movie, very good concept in this one as well. And last on this list is called Don't Look Up. Came out in 2021. Stars Jennifer Lawrence, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ariana Grande, Kate Blanchett, Meryl Streep, Timothy Chalamet, Mark Rylance, Jonah Hill, Chris Evans, and Melanie Kinsley. About two scientists who are actually astronomers who see a comet hurtling towards Earth, and you got to watch the rest of the movie to see what happens. Fire movie as well. So my list for my freestyle list is Children of Men, Knowing, and Don't Look Up.
Dope. Make sure y'all tap into those movies. Rowan Jack said, "What? Ash and Santana? Ash and Santana switched because normally you will have the theme, and I will have my random movie. So this week, unbeknownst to each other, we switched on how we did our stuff this week, which is funny.
Nah, facts.
Children of the Men was an amazing movie. Yo, make sure y'all tap into these movies. We've been giving y'all fire premiere movies, so make sure y'all tap in. All right, moving on to our must hear segment. Hold on, what she say? Ash movies, Ash like them old as F movies. Yo, ain't nothing like the 80s, baby. You know what I'm saying? The 80s and the 90s was popping. Great era for movies. It don't get no better than that. These movies still hold up to this day. Like it's just a better product. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you can't get a better product. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a better product. Movies have a better budget, have better technology today, but you cannot say pound for pound that we make better movies today than the 80s and the 90s. Yeah, I can't give me that. So I'm giving y'all with a getting as good as that. So all right, y'all. Three must hear songs must put on your playlist. This edition is Trey Songs. Three songs from Trey Songs you must put on your playlist, on your Trey Songs playlist. Number one, Store Run. Number two, Nobody's Watching. Number three, Circles. Three fire songs that you must put on your playlist. These are probably my favorite Trey songs, period. So again, there's Store Run, Nobody's Watching, and Circles. So make sure y'all tap into Trey songs, those three songs. All right, moving on to our classic show, must see segment or documentary or stand up. You want to start this one off?
I got a classic show. This show came out in 1994. It was on Sci-Fi. It was only on for one season, but it was a fire show. It was called Mantis. Came stars Carl Landry Lumbly, Galen Gorin, Christopher Gorin, Roger Reese, Gary Graham, Gina Torres, Andrew Robinson, Martin Cummings, Blue Mankuma, Gary Chalk, Suki Kaiser, and Suk Yin Lee. Fire series. Again, it came out in 1994, so this type of series was unheard of. And we had a black lead role, predominantly black actors and predominantly all these roles. It was about a scientist who had a jaded view on life, and then he has like a pretty much an occurrence where police accidentally shoots him and he loses access to his legs. So with the technology that he was doing with his company, he's able to build a prosthetic suit that gives him superhuman abilities, gives him the use of his legs. But now he has a moral dilemma because now his eyes is open and he starts to see that the jaded view he has in the world is kind of now skewed. So now he uses his technology to become a superhero and save the neighborhood. It was kind of fire because it was in LA. It It was around the LA riots, so they used those themes. They had a lot of racial themes in this series, and especially in the '90s, early on, and having a black lead like Carl Lumbly was fucking fire. And it was dope because he was a regular man, you know what I'm saying? He had his own tech and he just used it to better society. And I thought it was a dope show and stuff. I would love for them to bring back, but check out a classic called Mantis. You probably could catch it on Tubi, or Sci-Fi probably will have the old runnings of this one.
Dope. You know what movie people forget that he's in? Movie South Central. People forget that he's in that movie, and he, turned OG Bobby Johnson around by, helping the brother pick up a couple books and read, and finding himself where he could get to his son Jimmy, and for his son stopped getting bogus haircuts and all that. He had to like really shape himself up to save little Jimmy life because he was heading down the wrong path, stealing sounds and radios, getting blasted in the back and all that. So Carl Lampley's role was so pivotal in South Central that people forget that was even him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he even had to tell the little Nazi dude in the movie, "Do you know that this is a man standing next to you?" And the dude looked back and was like, "Yeah, I know this is a man. Like you about to violate this man. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that in here. You know what I'm saying?" So Carl Lampley is a legendary actor that is very underlooked, very underutilized. So shout out to him. So make sure y'all tap in. All right, my must see show, classic show, documentary, or stand up. I have to go with Luther. They have a new documentary about Luther Vandross. It's called Luther. It came out in 2024, but it really just came out for real. It was actually available probably about a week ago, but you had to see it on CNN. It's not available on any other streaming platform, but it's available on CNN. It's produced by Jamie Foxx, and it's a detailed version of what and how Luther Vandross came to be who he was as an artist on and off the screen, which, is a lot of things that I didn't know about Luther Vandross as far as how he really got on for real. And when he got on doing commercials. So that butter soft voice doing wild commercials like Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and so they ain't never had that much soul in a commercial. It's like, damn, like this. Forget buying a Pepsi. Like I need to go buy me an album. Like who's that singing? So that like he really got his start off from doing jingles and them jingles. So I don't want to ruin it for y'all. So make sure y'all tap into it. And that's just one of the things that I learned about Luther Vandross. So tap into see the Luther documentary. It was really, really good. And you can watch it through CNN. So make sure y'all tap into the Luther documentary. All right, moving on. You got cologne for us?
Got a cologne for y'all. Definitely tap in. If you look good, you feel good, you smell good, you're gonna do good. This cologne for this week is Creed Ventus. The fragrance is called Absolo. Again, the brand is called Creed Aventus, and the fragrance is called Absolo. Again, Creed is a top tier brand, so you can't go wrong with that. And this fragrance right here is very strong and very masculine. So definitely tap into Creed, and the fragrance is called Absolo.
Dope, dope. Make sure y'all get that solo to get right. You know, low. So make sure y'all tap in. I was keeping track of this Penn State and Notre Dame game. This is the semifinals is on. The first half was pretty exciting. That game was popping. So I'm just checking the score real quick of this Penn State Notre Dame game. Man, it was a good game. Oh, it's 10 seconds left. Notre Dame is up 27-24. So if Notre Dame wins, they hold up. They're going to be playing for the national championship. But that's dope. No, shout out to Notre Dame. All right, we'll keep track of that. All right, y'all. You already know what time it is. It's time to wrap. This segment is brought to you by Button Snaps, where you get classic movies, shows, documentaries, and original content for your viewing pleasure of $4.99. Again, Button Snaps. First hot topic of the night, y'all. Question: Is it Is it out of pocket or responsible? Is it out of pocket or responsible to bring your 22-year-old son to watch your 22-year-old boyfriend play basketball? Obviously, this is not for, men, but men, we can answer the question in the sense of it being responsible or not. So, is it out of pocket for is it out of pocket or responsible to bring your 22-year-old son to see your 22-year-old boyfriend play basketball? Because I can answer that as the son. If I'm 22 years old and my mother is dating somebody that's 22 and she's bringing me to his game, I there's a I could feel a type of way about that. So that's how I'm looking at it. What do you think as far as the question bearing?
First of all, my mom ain't even asking me that question. It's not going down. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to bro game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah.
Mm-hmm. And the reason why this question came up because Drea Michelle had recently went to the basketball game of her boyfriend and her baby father, Jalen Green, and she brings her son to the game, and they happen to be the same age.
Well, to him, he probably don't see nothing wrong with it, and it's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? He don't see nothing wrong with that situation because he was raised by his mother.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, he don't see nothing. There's no issue with him being there, or he don't see it as being an issue. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very cringe. It's a weird and awkward position to be in, and it's very awkward to force other people to feel comfortable with it. And it's like, nah, that's just weird. But you know what I'm saying? Again, he is grown, he's an adult, but we can see the results of being raised by a mother, and that's one of them results where it's like there's no point of you being there. You know what I'm saying? What do you gain by being there? Her, I can understand. She has an obligation, but him as being the son, he has no obligation to be there to see this man play a basketball game. So his obligation to be there is really non-existent. So the sole purpose of you being there is for other means. I have no idea, but if I was in that position, I would nowhere near be that game.
So, for as an adult, is it out of pocket or is it responsible?
For who? Because they both adult. Everybody's adults in that situation.
Mm-hmm. For Drea.
I mean, like I said, everybody's adults. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? So everybody's adults.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So there's
Fair
nothing I
enough.
could really say. Like,
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Fair enough. For me, I everybody is adults, but there's a such thing as decorum. You know what I mean? Um, I'm one of the guys who have like a lax view on dating younger. Um, if you're an adult, you're an adult, and that's how we rock out, right? But I don't necessarily want to be in the public eye of out and about with my woman and my daughter that happens to be the same age. If that was the case, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's about the decorum, but at the same time, everybody is an adult, 22, 22, 22. So, and then on top of that, he's the father of her child. So there has to be some sort of relationship because my child and your child are siblings forever. Like you can't cut that off. God forbid if I died and if you died tomorrow, they will have their big brother to lean on moving forward. You will hope. You see what I'm saying? So you're right in the sense where it's like, yo, everybody's an adult. But for me, I would add on the fact of just having the decency of having that relationship in house before I show it out of house, if that makes sense. So that would be my caveat to add on to it. And that's not something I would want to parade in a public side. Like whatever I do in my private life is in my private life, and I consider my daughter my private life and the person that I'm seeing my private life. I wouldn't put that necessarily in a public eye. So, and if I have to be in a public eye like they do, I would make sure that that situation is solidified before I just put it out there. So if they ask my son a question or my daughter a question about our relationship, they would know how to answer and know how to, move this thing forward, So that's how I'm looking at it as well, just to add on for the context. All right, y'all, moving on to our next hot topic. The CDC warns, it warns everybody of the high respiratory virus activity cases increase across the U.S. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's the winter time, so yes, it's gonna be high cases of respiratory. It's cold out there. Now it's a whole nor'eastern uh, weather pattern that's like taking over all of, you know what I'm saying, the middle of America and the East Coast. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna get colder. You're gonna have respiratory issues. Like we don't need CDC to tell us this. You know what I'm saying? Like we talking about people that can't even cure a common cold, but they're gonna tell us about other stuff. Like, nah, stop. Like at
Mhm.
this point, some of these organizations and institutions is jokes now.
Yeah, they also mentioned that in the chat. CDC is a joke, and it's very interesting because you're seeing all types of cases that's popping back up. People are catching COVID again out of nowhere. And this is very interesting because you have a combination of the weather and you have a combination of people really being out and about and being about that life. You know what I'm saying? Being at cruises and being at parties and being just everywhere where a whole lot of people is congregated together. And then you hear these cases going on at the same time, mixed with the cold fronts that we get. And I know in Orlando or in Florida, the cold front is hitting. And in Orlando, we feel it in Orlando. It's cold here. I know Miami is a little colder, but I don't know how cold it is. But I'm pretty sure it's a little colder than what it normally would be. But you're still seeing people out and about. Like you're seeing more people in the shopping malls. You're seeing more people in the grocery malls. And this is supposed to be a time where people are doing less shopping because people just don't have the extra income. But they're in places where they're getting sick. So what do we do from here if we can't even lean on the CDC? For years, we couldn't lean on the CDC, but now it seems like it's more prevalent that we can't lean on the CDC to not just give us accurate information, but not late information. It's like we're finding out the same time they're finding out, in a sense, because of our surroundings. It's like, yo, everybody's sure getting sick around here, and then the CDC comes out that day like, yo, be careful because people get sick. Like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. My surroundings, everybody's sick around me. So y'all not spreading no real news. Y'all not giving us ways uh to maneuver these sicknesses and these colds that we have coming up. What's going to be the thing that helps us from, what's the preventative measure at this point? Because it can't always be what's the curable measure. It has to be what's the preventable measure that has to be the biggest target and the biggest goal in all this.
Are you asking or are you just?
No, that's my statement.
Oh, okay.
That's my statement. Because we have to have preventative measures because preventative measures is more effective than just waiting for a cure or like, when I get it then I can cure it. Nah, let's do things before this gets out of control. Because then all of a sudden they're gonna have another excuse and find another reason to do another shutdown and another everything shut back down and this, that, and the third. So that's my statement for that. Anything you want to add to that?
Just really just get back to your natural home remedies. Whatever your grandmother used to tell y'all to do, start doing that again. Because obviously it came from somewhere. So if you have respiratory issues, get cayenne pepper, henny, cayenne pepper and honey.
I see where your mind is at,
You know
dog.
what I'm saying? A
Your
little, you
mind
know
is
what I'm saying? Little, you may get a little sip to open the chest up. You know what I'm
at.
saying? Get the chest up. You know what I'm saying? Open the
Open
chest.
the check.
But like there's mad remedies for respiratory issues. You have no, you know what I'm saying? There's so many old grandma remedies. Like we need to tap back into that. You know what I'm saying? Like those are forever gonna be helpful remedies for preventative measures. You know what I'm saying? eating healthier, you know what I'm saying, exercise, all these things are still things that we should be doing on a regular to help prevent certain things. And if you can, then you start going for the home remedies.
Hmm. Shout out to Lotus in the building. Appreciate you tapping and make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Wash your hands, and if you don't feel well, avoid people. Be smart and chill. It's not that big to see. It's easy to understand. Yeah, but people make it difficult. People do little things like they'll go to, let's say, Walmart, do their shopping, right? You grabbing products, you walking up and down the aisles. You leave Walmart, so you getting into your vehicle, you going home, and then you grab snacks. Didn't wash your hands, didn't disinfect nothing that you had going on coming in, didn't spray nothing. So you carrying all those germs when you come in the house. Most people don't even remove their shoes when they get inside the house. You tracking all that stuff from your house, treading all that stuff. Most people take their outside clothes, they be outside all day, and when they come back in the house, sit on their bed. You tracking all that. You don't know what's on your clothes to track onto your bed that you now fall asleep with. Now I don't even have my phone near me when I go to sleep because they said your phone accumulates all types of dust. That if you have it in the bed with you, then it accumulates in the bed as well. So be careful and practice safe measures, y'all. So y'all don't get sick. It's not just enough to be or curb the people that you're around, but you have to practice safe measures even when you're by yourself as well too. So yeah, I'm loving the engagement in the chat. That's dope. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Former NFL great wide receiver uh Deshaun Jackson was officially introduced as the new head coach of Delaware State University. His I'm paraphrasing, but his words is, "This is not a rebuild. We here to ball," and he's ready to rock and roll. Even in the snow blizzard, they took the press conference and went to the field to let it be known they about that action when it comes to football in this upcoming season. What do you think about Deshaun Jackson officially being introduced as the Delaware State head coach?
I think that's what's up, man. That's dope. It's great for the culture, great for the kids that's going to Delaware State. Something to look forward to for the season. Some school spirit is going to be on an all-time high, and it's going to be great for the conference, and just bring more eyes to that conference and that level of play, and just get more kids more involved and more eyes on them. You know what I'm saying? It's just good for everybody all around.
Like, how would you feel to be a receiver and go to Delaware State and the tricks of the tool you're getting from somebody that was successful in the league for a long time? And on top of that, he wasn't the prototype receiver in the sense where he's not 6 foot, 200 pounds. Deshaun is maybe like 5'9", maybe like a buck 75. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, but he made that work. How do you think a receiver, well, the receivers going to that school in particular at that position would feel playing for a receiver, a Hall of well, great caliber receiver like Deshaun Jackson?
So it's definitely gonna be offensive minded coach, you know what I'm saying, as being a receiver in his playing days. And you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a receiver's like, you know what I'm saying, wet dream. Like you learning from a top tier player who played in the league for a very long time, and you're gonna get the best knowledge you're gonna ever get. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's just good all around and it's gonna make for better play and for better players everywhere.
Rowan Jackson, Delaware has a team. When Delaware State been had a team, man.
Nah,
You
these
know,
yeah facts.
Delaware is really about to elevate because Delaware State has always been around, but the school Delaware in itself, they're moving up to D1 football this year. So they're going to play a D1 schedule this year. So Delaware's in the house, baby. You know what I'm saying? I just wish they had different helmets because they try to copy our style. like Michigan, they try to use the wing helmets like we do, but they basically have our uniforms, but they wear blue and yellow. So, um, but yeah, Delaware has a team. So there's Delaware State and there's the University of Delaware. So, but it's gonna be dope though. I think it's gonna be dope. Bro, Jack is funny. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. Question, big question. Does trauma have a time period? Does trauma have a time period? Y'all let us know in the chat as well. Does trauma have a time period?
No, because that gets passed on from generation to generation. So it doesn't have a time period.
So no matter what happens, nobody should ever get over the trauma that they went through to be able to move forward.
No, but you asked what if trauma has a time period. No, it doesn't, because it's generational. But we have the tools now to understand where the traumas come from and to better get over the traumas. We have the tools now than ever before. We have all the knowledge, everything we could ever ask for. So if this would be the time to get over all the traumas, this would be this time. Any
Hmm.
other time, it would be now.
Hmm. Now, I have to be honest. Growing up, I want to say we went through a lot, and we didn't put language on the things that we went through, which later became or known to be as trauma. The different things that we went through within our upbringings. So, because the mindset was whatever you're going through, you have to just get over it and be able to move forward. And that's just the way it is if you're going to be able to elevate yourself, especially for young cultured boys. It's like, yo, the world don't care about your feelings, so you need to get over it and be able to move forward, so that way you could get to the other side of your trauma, or what known to be trauma today, but get on the other side so that way you could find your happiness. Now we're figuring out, even though we try to get to that other side, there's still something about us that's unexplained, which is that trauma that we had to get over, or that we had to really overcome without calling it trauma. So when I think of the question, does trauma have a time period, where you see all these cases where people was supposedly raped, and the reason why I say supposedly, because they don't bring it out until years later, right? So it makes it hard for people to believe, because you no longer have the hardcore proof if that was to happen. Then you have people who are dealing with things systematically. Then you say, well, you're not dealing with that. That's not your reality today, but it's still a microcosm of the past generation, and the past generation affects the present generation. So that's why that question is prevalent today. Everyone has to have their own time to get over the pain. This show helps me get over the trauma of my white guilt. You are my melanated friend card. Yeah, Rowan, you are dude, man. You are dude, man. So at the end of the day, we learn from you and you learn from us, man. That's how I see it as well too. But anything you want to expound on what I said about that as well?
No, no, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so that's how we look at it now. And a lot of things that we went through, like I had a disagreement with one of my friends, and it was dealing with other people, and I said to him like, "Yo, but when I was that age, I had to deal with this situation head on, and you're asking me to have compassion for a situation that nobody had compassion for me when I went through it. Nobody was trying to hold my hand or look out for me or be like, yo, but he a young boy. People saw me as a grown man, viewed me as a grown man. I had to deal and pay grown man consequences. But this generation, you're just like, nah, bro, but they little kids. Whoa. I went through more at his age. I went through way more. So for me, I had to deal with that trauma all by myself, but we didn't call it trauma coming up, if that makes sense. Do you remember the things that we went through that them calling it trauma in your estimation?
I mean, I wouldn't use trauma. It's just a word that is just thrown everywhere for like we've been through situations as young adults that we probably shouldn't have been in because we didn't have the capacity to understand them. But it's certain aspects happen like that. But I'm gonna say trauma. Like that's an extreme word. Like um no, I wouldn't use trauma for it. You know what I'm saying? I would use a different word. And trauma is too it's it's too an evolved word for certain scenarios that people try to say that everybody goes through. Like, not everybody goes through trauma too. So it's like, but people go through other things. You know what I'm saying? It may not be traumatic, but it may be a substantial situation in their life that may make them view life differently after that. It may not be traumatic, but it just was um, a moment in life that they can't get over. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Sean in the building. Live and learn. That is a fact, and that's such a older mentality. But we give so much information to the younger ones because we know how to. We know what it feel like not to feel like we have a voice. So I think this generation of adults who were the kids that went through the so-called trauma and so-called thing, but we didn't call it that back then. We're trying to shield the new generation of kids from those ideas and thoughts. So it's called Lessons Learned. I remember disregarding elder advice when I was young. I understood where they came from and now, but don't know how to impart advice to young. like, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what I had to learn about all the adults when I was a teenager, a young kid, they wasn't always adults. Even though they brunt the responsibility at that particular point. So, with that being said, everybody is doing the best that they can do for the most part. Some people are just oblivious. Some people are just straight like, yo, come on. You don't know your ass from your elbow and you should know better. While other people, they just doing the best that they could really do. Like my uncle used to say to me, because I used to have these conversations with my uncle. I'm like, yo, but this person is older. They should know better. Like, and he says, always, he used to always say to me, age has nothing to do with maturity. Common sense is not common. And he will always leave it at that. So I just found that very interesting. I feel like parents in this generation aren't as patient as our parents were. I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think the parents of this generation is more patient overall than our parents. Our parents was like, yo, you gotta go get it. You know what I'm saying? So again, maybe your experience is a little different, but in my surroundings growing up in Brooklyn, New York, all the parents really empower I don't want to say empowered their kids, but all the parents was focused on putting food on the table, clothes on our back. So they necessarily wasn't present. They was there but not present. So because they're not present, that forces the kids to grow up a little sooner, a little faster, a little earlier. And because there's no patience to be given, everybody had to be able to do it. So I'm not from Brooklyn too. Yeah, but again, your experience can be don't make it personal. Again, it's not about personal. This is about the idea of what the energy is. And back then, a lot of those parents, they necessarily wasn't patient. Their focus was on putting food on the table, clothes on our back. So a lot of the kids is independent. So if kids are independent, there's no space for patience. If a kid is forced to do things that a parent would naturally help their kids do, then there's no space for patience. Patience is not included. So, as I said, I disagree, but But that just might be your experience, and I'm not discounting your experience. And my peoples are Jamaican, so yeah. But like, yeah, I'm not discounting your experience, but at the end of the day, majority of the people move like that because that's just how the environment was in New York City. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. A Virginia nurse was caught breaking bones of cultured newborn babies in hospital NIC unit. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's unfortunate, but it's like, what do you expect? It's, uh, it's a wake up call to let you know, like, it's a lot of people don't like you out here. Like, you know what I'm saying? You think you in a position where you're comfortable, and this is a wake up call to let you know, like, this system ain't really for you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many layers with that scenario that I could go deep on that. That I'm just gonna keep it simple and just be like, people out here don't are not for you. Institutions out here are not for you. They dress it up like they care and they don't. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because had it been in the reverse, it wouldn't even happen the one time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just funny how it's one way or the other when it's a certain group of people in the mix of it. When it shouldn't be about that. If you're a nurse and you quote unquote took a Hippocratic oath to administer health and care, it shouldn't matter if it's a Mexican baby or a Irish baby or a Jamaican baby. It shouldn't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously it does. So, and then the institution where she works at, nobody ain't see none, no conversation she didn't have that raised alarm bells that showcase that maybe she has a skewed view on things. All these things were just miraculously, nobody ain't see nothing. You know what I'm saying? She had a squeaky clean record. Nobody ain't know nothing about nothing. All of a sudden, babies is having broken bones when they shouldn't be. But you have all these doctors with all these degrees and should know that that shouldn't happen, but yet still it gets passed up and disregarded and looked the other way. So lets you know that the whole institution and behind it is all games. So it's like, I just find it hilarious when people say that they're gonna go into an institution and be like, oh, I'm gonna change it from the inside.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking up her name, and this hits home because this is in Rico County in Virginia, um, which is Richmond, Virginia, and her name is Aaron Elizabeth Ann Stroman. She got four names. Aaron Elizabeth Ann Stroman, a 26-year old registered nurse.
Mhm.
Come on, like, what are we doing? I mean, there's a history in Richmond, Virginia, where people have that type of energy. Um, my family is originally from Richmond, Virginia, and we span throughout the DMV area. So hearing and looking at this situation is like, damn, that could have been me as a baby. That could have been one of my cousins. That could have been a friend of ours. That don't even have to be anybody we know for real. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. And to have that type of hatred for people, that you do that to somebody that can't even fend for themselves. You do that to a baby, newborn baby. That baby don't know nothing about nothing. It's supposed to come into the world pure and blank. And uh this is the type of adversity that this child has to go through within their first days of being born. Like, who does that? I hope she get the stiffest penalty that she could receive from being charged from this, because this is egregious and malicious. So she is in the wrong, feel compromised.
Where's the feminists?
Where are the feminists?
You know what I'm saying?
Good question.
It's just so funny because if it was in reverse, see, this is why I don't even want to go towards race and nothing like this. I'm gonna just keep it male and female, right?
Hmm.
So it's a woman doing this to children. Where's the women chastising this woman? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Now, if I go into race, Where's the white women chastising the white women for doing that? So you mean to tell me all white women just don't care? Oh, it's as long as it's not a white child, like that is that what's going on? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? And then, okay, let's not even go on race. Where's all the nurses?
Mm-hmm.
Where's all the professional nurses? Why aren't they not up in arms and saying that's not how it's supposed to be? This, that, and the third. If you come to this hospital, our NICU center is the best. We can. Where are they at?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, y'all busy doing TikToks with tight nurse gowns on. That's what y'all worried about. Y'all busy doing TikTok and not focusing and looking at NICU when Annie Mae and them walk off
Mm-hmm.
and doing egregious work. But you busy doing TikTok. You busy over here worried about because you make this amount of dollar amount, but yet work ain't really being done. So it's like I said, so many layers in it. I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna leave that one alone. It's just funny that certain groups, when they up in arms with certain things, and then when other things come along, it's crickets. So it's funny.
And Virginia is one of the Bible belts. So where's the the religious folks at?
Also, God is particular when it's a certain group that's being maliciously hurt. Is that what we saying? Hmm.
So seeing this, it breaks my heart. But you hit on some things that makes sense. It's like why wasn't she two pieced? Why did none of the nurses two piece her? Where's some of the women in that community that just love kids and just don't want to see harm to children?
Not even that. Where was the nurse in the second round after that first nurse left? The second shift. Where was the report when the second shift came? When you did your rounds and see, wait a minute, the baby ain't supposed, arm ain't, or leg ain't supposed to be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where was the second shift reports that was not conducive with the first shift? So it
Mm-hmm.
would be a discrepancy. So, why are the reports different? What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we need to investigate this. What, you know what I'm saying? Where's all that? It's cool when you want my bread for surgeries, but now all of a sudden when y'all fuck up,
Nobody know nothing.
nobody don't know nothing.
Like I said, I think it's sad, and I hope
It's cool when I get a gunshot wound. You quick to find out if I got insurance or not.
that's a fact.
You pick and choose.
That's the
Oh nah, you
first thing
don't got
you're
no
gonna do.
insurance. Oh nah.
That's the first thing you're gonna do.
You gotta go to county. Picking and choosing. Okay, cool. Now we have this situation. How y'all gonna play that, Virginia? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna play that?
Like I said, I hope she receives the full extent of the law. And whole purpose of having the full receiving the full extent of the law is deterrent other people from doing stuff like this. Because I just can't imagine that she's the first person in history to do and move like this. How do we know this is not a thing that they do at that particular hospital? Or that's just the thing that they do, in their mentality of the group of nurses that she in her particular circle.
Well, even in the medical industry, it's already racist on point anyway, because they're already taught that because of melanin skin, supposedly we are more susceptible to pain or something. So they already indoctrinated to thinking that we're somehow different from somebody else. Oh yeah, we could take more pain than the next person. There's so many evidence of that in how they think. So you, as a melanin person, I don't give a fuck if you go to John Hopkins. It doesn't matter. The whole institution is already racist. You know what I'm saying? So what does it matter if you and a couple of black doctors and got your degree? What does it matter if the whole institution is built on learning and cutting you up, cutting your ancestors up, and figuring out, oh yeah, like they showed you in Django. Oh, the two bumps on the back of this skull means this. That's where all this medical history came from. But you want to go to these people for your health and concerns. Meanwhile, they doing this to your babies. Come on, this is 2025 now. We keep going to the same people for health concerns. Meanwhile, they don't even got good health. The irony of that. You're going to a doctor for health concerns and paying him. Meanwhile, he got health concerns.
Where they do that at, Chief?
You know what I'm saying?
Where they
You
do
go
that
to a
at?
lawyer to pay a lawyer for advice. Meanwhile, he getting finessed by his wife in another court case. But I'm supposed to pay you for your advice though, because you got a law degree. But meanwhile, your wife is taking you to the cleaners by another lawyer. But
Mm-hmm.
y'all know law.
Mm-hmm.
So how you getting finessed by the law that you claim you know? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
That's that new math that don't add up, you know?
Yeah, that's that girl math. You know what I'm saying?
All right, moving on to our next hot topic. President-elect Donald Trump says he intends to change the name of Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America. What do you think about that?
I mean, why not? I mean, it's cool when y'all pumping our drugs into our country. It's cool then, right? It's not a problem then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now he want to call it Gulf America. You got a problem with it. Why? It's cool when y'all pumping fentanyl in our communities. It's cool then, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem? Y'all running in our communities, no problem, no paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Y'all running, you know, you're not following no kind of protocol. But as soon as they say you want to call it Gulf of America, oh, it's a problem. Well, what you gonna do about it, Mexico? You can't even keep your country straight.
Mm-hmm.
So be cool.
Make your money.
You know what I'm saying? Be cool. Count your bread. Be cool. Because when it comes time, and America's gonna do it. When it comes time, all right, all that gonna be shut down. They're gonna find a way. Trust me. They're gonna send these troops, and they don't need thousands of troops. They're gonna send 50 niggas.
They gonna send the mermaid in?
They're gonna send 50 Mervin and top tier niggas. That's all they need is 50. And I bet you they're already there right now, chilling, eating roast con pollo, tacos, all that shit. Once they get that call, it's over.
For those who don't know who the mermaid is, if y'all ever seen the movie Troy, instead of the king sending thousands of his soldiers, he's sending Achilles and the mermaid, and they just took over the whole land. Just like, yo, we just gonna send them in there real quick, now I mean, and then like that.
Him and 20 niggas. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't think America don't got top tier niggas like that, you bugging.
Yo, that is hilarious. Those are laws that said you could not only drill for oil, but the Gulf of Mexico, there's laws about that. But see, the thing is, Donald Trump is doing things, in my estimation, that is making sense. This happens to be one of them. Now, my thing is, all the things that we're doing, I hope that it's a direct reflection of the people that it's going to benefit. So, if we're changing this thing to Gulf of America and we getting our oil and all the other things that we're getting from this particular land and area, then it should be beneficial in having cheaper costs and things in our everyday life. This should be a direct value hit to our everyday life. So, I'm jacking some of these moves that he's making because it gives off very Americanized energy where it's like, yo, you either gonna get down or you gonna lay down. Straight like that. And even the situation that's going on between us and Canada at the moment, he's basically telling Canada is either you get down or you lay down. Now the Canadian officials is talking like, yeah, we'll just cut off the supply to these certain areas that we supply. And it's like, yo, that's cool, baby. Like, well, who gonna protect y'all? You know what I'm saying? Like, we got military, who gonna protect y'all?
Canada, just be cool, all right? Just calm down, take your L, and just be cool. You know what I'm saying? Nobody rushing to go to Canada. You know what I'm saying? Like, just relax.
Yeah.
Y'all only got 2 months that's worth of value. The rest of the time it's cold as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So just be cool. You know what I'm saying? We need to take over y'all shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? Just
So
fuck. We just open the border up. We just take all of Canada, now all part of US, and just that's it.
just take over. So Canada response was like, "Yo, how about we buy Minnesota and Alaska from y'all, and we just call it a day." And
How about y'all just chill out, keep with the maple syrup, and just be cool. You know what I'm saying? Because
keep.
drugs is coming from Canada too. It's all right when y'all getting money and proceeds from the drugs. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all bring the drugs into America. The money go to y'all, and everything's cool. But now when it's time to open them borders up, oh, you have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, fuck all that. We
Yeah.
open that shit up, and what you gonna do about it? You gonna send your mountain men?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we gonna send Yogi the Bear and all them niggas after that. You know what I'm saying?
And that's another reason why I recommended the movie Spies Like Us. If my must see movies, y'all gotta see Spies Like Us. So I don't fault him for doing, for wanting to change the name and for trying to change the name from Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. It's about time we put our name on so many different things moving forward. If you're gonna be a part of the protection, baby, you gotta fall in line straight like that. And that's just how life goes. If you big fish always eat little fish. It's either you're gonna be protected under this, or you're gonna be on your own and swim on your own, doggy. And that's just what it is. You gotta fend for yourself. You gotta protect yourself out here, baby. You can't call your own shots when you don't have no shots to call. It just don't happen like that. And people that think that they could do that, countries that think they could do that, they find themselves at a loss. So I kind of like this energy, even though my disdain for Trump is is very high. But at the same time, I do like the energy that he's moving with, especially if it's going to be in a direct reflection of our everyday life. He's talking about bringing the cars back to Detroit, and and a whole bunch of other stuff that he's talking about. But there's a difference between talking and actually getting something done. So if it's a direct reflection that people could go back to having uh, we can have a lower cost of living or make more money and keep the cost of living the way it is, then I'm in favor, and for that. So, I'm longing for the days we get back to the gas at a dollar 29 a pop. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm all for this. I'm all for this. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. I want to give a quick shout out to Method Man and Redman. They are the original. They are, and I forgot all about this. They are the originals of the Punk Show. So, for people that don't remember, they originally did an episode where they would trick artists coming into their session. They say, "Yo, I got a beat. Method Man made the beat. We want you to jump on the song." The beat would be so trash and so unrappable that was the joke. Like, but they messed around and punked the wrong person, which was Ludacris. So Ludacris is sitting there and listen to the beat, and because it's a young, hungry Luda at the time, he don't care what y'all about to play. I'm getting on this song with Method Man and Redman, and the beat was supreme ass hat on purpose, and he's literally sitting there like, "Yo, I got something," and they like, "What?" "Yeah, I got something," and he go into the booth and he spit that hot 16. You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, that was like, "Yo, it's a prank. Like, we gave you this whack ass beat on purpose. We didn't think your response would be like, 'Yo, I got something, baby. Let's go get it.'" You know what I'm saying? So that was the thing. So when Ashton Kutcher seen that, he took that and turned it into Punk. So I wanted to give a fire shout out to Method Man and Redman for being the original Punk. Do you remember that? Like,
Nah, I don't remember that, but this is just another example of we just come up with original shit out our ass and motherfuckers will be right there and then steal the shit and don't give credit to first of all and take bread and be like, oh, it's my idea.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? This happens all the time. We do this shit so effortlessly. We don't even be knowing half the time we be making shit like, oh yeah, I did that. Damn. Just like you have to remind us, I ain't even know Redman and Method Man did the jump. But we just create shit so lit and so effortlessly, we be forgetting.
Yeah.
The next nigga got to remind you, remember you put me on, you the one that put me on, joint. You know what I'm saying? You
I
did? No. I really did put you on.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying? On to the next shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But shout out to them for coming up with, as always, you know what I'm saying? Originals, we always gonna get copied. The most copied man is the American man. I don't give a fuck what nobody said, because I heard an African say this and I was shocked. He said the minute when Americans was wearing dashikis, they started wearing dashikis.
Wow.
I said, what?
Wow.
So what the fuck was y'all wearing?
Wow. I ain't never heard that before. Wow.
And that's straight from an African.
That's a new one on old Ash. That's a new one on me.
That threw me. I'm like, well, damn. So when we gonna get our credit?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, not to mention, I seen a documentary a year ago about African drill. Now, even though drill came from Canada, but America adopted as their own in some sort. But let's be real, Canadian drill, the Africans didn't see the Canadian drill and wanted to mimic Canadian drill.
Nah, they took Chicago drill. You know what I'm saying?
They took the Chicago, New York City, those areas that's doing the drill, and was like, yeah, we're going to emulate that. And I've seen a whole documentary. So different parts of Africa, which is, again, Africa is not a country, y'all, it's a continent. So different parts of Africa that in their different respective countries in Africa had their own drill, their own ways of how they dress and move within the culture of hip hop. So of course, again, like my bro said, the original American man is being copied left and right
all the time, from the way you wear your hair to the way you got your damn hat, the way you fucking wear your jacket, the way you wear your belt. These people are studying you. They studying y'all, and still not giving credit to, first of all, the audacity. You know what I'm saying? What? Not to diss our cousins over there in Africa, but ain't not one thing that came from Africa that niggas bop to. Name one piece of thing that came from the multitude of countries from Africa that came over here. It's like, nah, I'm fucking with that.
I ain't gonna hold you. This whole time, I thought dashikis was from the motherland. You know what I'm
saying? I said the nigga threw me for a loop. I said dashikis ain't from Africa. Oh, shit. Damn, some niggas just created this shit like, nah, this is what Africans are wearing. Africans like, oh, I like that shit. I'm gonna start rocking that. Like, what the fuck?
Yo, hook me up with the magic kufi on top of that.
Let me get that. Because the shit that Africans rock, especially when they go into their weddings, I am not rocking none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, yo, where's your tail at? Let me get that in silk. You know what I'm saying? I want that in fuchsia, in the fuchsia color. You know what I'm saying? Match my belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never, the drip y'all got, y'all can keep that. You know what I'm saying?
Let me get that coffee bean color belt over there. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take Cali drip before I'll take African drip. You know what I'm saying?
And Cali drip is Cali.
And that's the thing, not to play Cali, but at the end of the day, no matter how many people want to play California or whatever it is, guess what? The culture that they got over there, you can't find that in Nova Scotia.
That's true.
You can't find that in Japan. You know where you gotta go to get that? You gotta go to Cali.
Cali, yes.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm not gonna play my Cali cousins. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you can't find the way they speak, the way they dress, none of that shit unless you go to California. So what does that tell you?
Even though, like, shout out to my Cali brothers and sisters, that drip is kind of nasty work, but that's the only place you're gonna get
no matter how many times Hollywood try to play play the way Cali move, the way Cali talk, all that shit. That's them paying homage.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a
You know what I'm
fact.
saying? At the end of the day,
Fact.
no matter how colors, Training Day, so many movies that showcases Cali culture, and niggas don't never showcase no love to Cali. This nigga Kendrick Lamar just dropped a whole album about Cali culture.
Mm-hmm.
Everything on that GNX album is Cali culture. Kendrick, you can't. I mean, Dre, you can't compare because there is no culture in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
You take away the Ethiopians, you take away the Jamaicans, you take away everybody. What's left?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the culture then?
Mm-hmm.
Because the Caribbean culture in Canada is not from Canada.
Mm-hmm. That's
You know
a fact.
the Ethiopian culture ain't from Canada neither.
Mm-hmm.
The heavy African culture that's from there, the heavy Indian culture that's from there, is not originally from there.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, y'all gotta pay homage to the people who created culture, and at the end of the day, who hold this whole thing up.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Like, I agree. I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. The plane, JetBlue says that it was two bodies found in the landing gear at the on the plane at Fort Lauderdale Airport, and that plane came from JFK, and they found the bodies on a routine maintenance check. What do you think about that?
Bro, just get the buddy passes, man. You know what I'm saying? You try to just not pay the fare and try to sneak on a plane to come to Florida. It's like, bro, just get a buddy pass or pay your ticket. You know what I'm saying? Take a train, take the bus. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cold down here too in Florida, B. You running from cold to less cold.
Bro,
and then you ain't even make it because you froze to death on the way over there. You
bro,
and your mans.
cheapseats.com got tickets from New York City to anywhere in Florida as low as $49.
There should be no reason, son. You just throw your coat on, don't even pack a bag. You know what I'm saying?
Like, that's wild.
Sunjet, baby,
$49.
$49.99. You got leather seats. You gonna get to Florida, son. But you gonna stop in Raleigh. Then you gotta go to VA. Then you gotta come back. You know what I'm saying?
But you gonna be there in one piece though.
You gonna get there. You know what I'm saying?
And if you don't got no bags, you can always catch Frontier for $14.95. You know what I'm saying?
Just carry
No
your book
bag.
bag. You straight.
Now you can't have no bag. If you have your
You
bag,
just got a wallet. See, I fucked you up. You know what I'm saying? Just carry your wallet.
because if you got you a bag, them tickets gonna go from
Oh, you
$16.95.
got you a bag there, player? Oh, that's gonna be an extra 79.
You know, and that's going both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it take all what you got on your body, all your valuables, $16.95 Frontier. You're gonna be there 3 hours late, but you're gonna get there safe and sound. Like, I just don't understand this. Like, I don't want to make light of people losing their life. That's not what we're joking about. But it's like at the end of the day, this is a repeated theme, and we're talking about people coming from New York City to Florida, New York City to Fort Lauderdale, to be exact. That's not a flight worth dying for. That's not a flight worth sneaking onto the into the landing gear to risk your life. Too many times we hearing this, and it's like, yo, 14.95. The Chinese bus will take you from Brooklyn all the way to Florida for about like $30.
There's many ways to get it, man.
So it's like, is it worth it? Like, your life was worth that? Like, I just don't understand that. But people heads will roll though. Heads will roll though at JFK. Heads will roll at JFK because the amount of maintenance checks that they have to do, and just the different parameters for people getting onto the plane is it's a whole other thing. So it's heads will roll because of that. But when people are determined to do something, they're gonna find a way. They're gonna find a way. But in this particular instance, because it's so many checkpoints at an airport where people are not allowed to go through because of the clearance, like the level clearance and things like that. So for them to even make it that far to the landing gear on a plane, people don't realize how big planes are. And to be on that landing gear on that tarp when stuff is getting shaky, that like that road be shaking. Like so I just don't get why people just won't do the right thing instead of just risking their life in that manner. Our layover in Dubai or other countries, but it's worth it. Yeah, I'm saying, but we're talking about New York City, JFK, which is one of the two biggest airports in New York City, to Fort Lauderdale. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So I mean, they got deals all the time for flights. A shout out to Dope Boy in the building. Appreciate you tapping and hit that like button. Hit them hearts in the chat, man. All right, moving on to our next hot topic. A judge. Do you remember there was a topic we covered where an inmate was with the with the a female guard was having sex with one of the inmates, and then the other inmate taped it.
Not not too much. No.
Okay, so we covered a subject where a guard was having sex with an inmate and the other cellie was taping it, and then of course it caught heat, right? So the case was called. Now the judge has sentenced that guard to 15 years in jail because of said act with that inmate. What do you think about that?
Was the guard male or female?
The guard was female.
Good. Good. That sets precedence. That's good. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You do stupid shit, you gonna get stupid prizes.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? 15 years, that's adequate. I commend the judge for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
you you weren't supposed to do that. There's many rules and regulations against that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, as you want to be with the jailers and scammers, and now you with the jailers and scammers. You know what I'm saying?
You know how dumb that is for being in jail for smashing an inmate?
And he's gonna eventually get out, and you gonna still be in there. But you made that decision, right?
Yeah.
You willingly allowed this man inside of you. So, you know what I'm saying? So that was a choice you made. This is the bed you made. Now you gotta sleep in it
Hmm.
for 15 years. Hope it was worth it.
She did what? No way she burnt. Yeah, I mean, this would deter other people from engaging in activities like this because of the if you get caught, you're gonna do penitentiary time. And is it worth throwing your life away for this moment of time? Is it worth it?
I mean, she's gonna have 15 years to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? If it was worth it or not. Hopefully, she learned from her actions, and other women, especially, learn from this. Because for some reason, women feel like they could get away with certain things. So now you're being held accountable for your actions, and I hope y'all learn y'all lessons quick, fast. You know what I'm saying?
Mind you, she was a wife and a mother. So now she's leaving her husband.
I ain't stop her from doing none of the goofy shit she did. You know what I'm saying? So they telling me now is irrelevant because she was doing that when she had Buddy Finger in her mouth. She ain't stop her now, did it?
Facts.
I don't want to hear about her being a mother and this, that, and the third, and a husband and a wife. That didn't matter when you had that dirty ass nigga's finger in your mouth. Now, did it?
Hmm.
It ain't matter when you ain't care about it when that first interaction happened. You ain't stop it then. So why should it matter now?
It's just amazing how the things that she felt that was important in that moment, whatever she felt like she wasn't getting at home, because it always results to, oh, I wasn't getting this at home. So you throw your relationship out the window and the relationship with your child out the window for 15 years. So the next time you see your son, he gonna basically be a whole adult over your actions.
How you gonna even face your son? Like, what you gonna tell him? What kind of conversation as a mother can you have with a son? You know what I'm saying? Like it, like certain things that women put themselves through, they don't think about nothing else but themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and we want to put women in power? Okay. They unstable creatures.
I'm not gonna call them the B word. I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
call them
call them
stable.
unstable creatures. You know what I'm saying? Since 2001, they've been telling us y'all unstable. And y'all
Uh-huh.
tell us too y'all unstable. Talking about, oh, I got mad different personalities. Like, that's a flex.
Mm-hmm.
What? So who am I talking to today? Keisha, Tanya, Nicole? Who am I talking to?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? No. So this is great. So y'all gonna learn y'all lessons. Y'all want to be like, man, okay, do the time like men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a man and I don't want to do 15 years.
I
So
I
I'm
want to
not gonna put myself in a position where 15 years is an option.
do. Mm-hmm.
Nah.
The greatest enemy of feminism is consequences. That's a fact.
Yeah, they're gonna
I
have a
like.
whole bowl of that. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. I like that.
Roll
That's
that up.
that's the one of the best quotes I heard all day, Rowan. I likes that. I likes that. Wow. The greatest enemy of feminism is consequences. Wow. I likes that. Pause. That's a bar. Yes. Yeah. I mean, moving like I said, moving forward, her actions affect our whole family, and now that family is basically fractured and broken because of her actions. Now, moving forward, she has to deal with the consequences. Her family has to deal with the consequences that this young man is not going to have his mother around. This man is not going to have his wife around. I mean, finding out her actions, I would figure that he would divorce her anyway. But at the end of the day, that whole family structure is broken up, and that man has to pick up the pieces and put together that family structure without her moving forward. So it's unfortunate just based on her actions. Uh, a quick update. A quick update. Notre Dame beats Penn State in the semifinals, 27-24. And I predicted that. That's my ash pick. I predicted that Notre Dame was going to beat Penn State, and they are waiting on the winner of Texas and Ohio State. So I'm already 1 for 1. So shout out to Notre Dame for winning. This is the best Notre Dame team I've seen in a long time. So shout out to Notre Dame. They doing their work. All right, moving on to our next segment. Our next segment is brought to you by Bravo Section. Make sure you go to bigbravosection.com. Again, bigbravosection.com. You can buy dope photography, or if you're in the Miami area, you can book a session with one of the best photographers in the world. If you're not, still book that session. They'll fly you out and take care of your session, and you don't have to worry about them trying to ride in the landing gear. They're going to actually fly out and do your session. All right, they're gonna make it there. So make sure you tap into bigbravosection.com. You got a petty thought for us, petty law, petty words.
I got some words from the law dictionary. So first word is quiet title action. It's a proceeding to establish the plaintiff's title to land by bringing into court an adverse claimant, and they're compelling him to either establish his claim or be forever after a stop from asserting it. Next word is quit claim deed, a deed of conveyance operating by way of release that is intended to pass any title, interest, or claim which the grantor may have in the premises, but not professing that such title is valid, nor containing any warranty or covenants up for title. In a number of states, a deed which purports to transferring nothing more than interest which the grantor may have, if any, at time of transaction, and extends any implications that he has any title or interest in the described realty. Next word is esquire. In English law, a title of dignity next above gentlemen and below knights. Also a title of office given to sheriffs, sergeants, and barristers of law, justice of peace, and others. And last word is adverse possession, a method of acquisition of title of real property by possession of for a statutory period under certain conditions. It has been described as a statutory method of acquiring title to land by limitation on the bringing of actions for the recovery of land. Title can be acquired to real property by adverse possession. In order to establish title in this manner, there must be proof of non-permissive use, which is an actual, open, notorious, exclusive, and adverse for the statutorily prescribed period. So words for this episode of adverse possession, esquire, quit claim deed, and quiet title action.
Dope, dope. Make sure y'all continue to send those words so that way my brother could look them up and have them ready for you for the next episode. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment, our Keep the Lie Live segment.
Keep the lie live.
Keep the Lie Live. So my Keep the Lie Live for this episode is be the best version of yourself. Always be in motion to be the best version of yourself. Too many times when people get complacent with being at a certain level. And if you get complacent with being at a certain level, there's no real room for growth. There's no real room to elevate. And if you get used to being at a certain level, then the things that you really want in life, which is to elevate, which is to be able to take it to a whole new level, you're not going to accomplish that. You're going to constantly be at a place where you're constantly trying to do the bare minimum. When I look at outcomes and people putting their best foot forward, at some point it always break through. Even when it don't seem like it's about to break through. Even when it seems like it's minimal gains every single time. But at some point there's always a breakthrough. So when you have outcomes and you're used to thinking like that, and you notice there's a goal, whether it's a short term or long term goal, being the best version of yourself always accomplishes that goal, no matter how insurmountable that can seem at that particular time and moment and space. There was a place in my time where I never, like, the young version of myself saw my life in a whole different other way, because at one particular point of my life I was always in court, always in court. So because of that, that built an anxiety inside of me where it didn't allow me to grow my own mindset to see that my life can elevate to a certain degree. But when I started really setting real goals for myself, whether it was short term, long term, whether it was far fetched or just like barely, like I could barely do it, I should really start hitting my goals and just keeping my head down and always striving to be the best version of myself. Whether it's controlling my weight, whether it's controlling my finances, whether it's controlling my life by staying out of court, not allowing people have the ability to change my life by even taking me to court. So things like that helped me to propel myself in my younger 20s, that helped me to my mid and my late 20s. And I was able to design my lifestyle in a way where I control my life, where I could do whatever I want when I want. And anybody could do the same thing. Because the things that I had to go through and the things that I had to some of my hurdles, I didn't think it was going to go that way. But all I could do, I kept it, because I started off as an athlete. I could only control what I could control, which is my attitude, which is my outcome, and which is my effort. As long as I can control those three things, then I can control my lifestyle to always be the best version of myself. I refuse to let anybody or anyone take me down, especially when they're moving in malice. So that's my Keep the Lie Alive for this episode. Continue to be the best version of yourself so that way you can get the outcomes that's going to change your life and design your life the way you want your life to be. Y'all, I thank y'all for tapping in. It's been a dope episode. Bro, anything you want to add to what I just said?
No, you said it well.
So, y'all, again, Y'all been amazing. Y'all continue to keep supporting the pod. We got over 260 something rewatches of this podcast on this channel. So make sure y'all tap in. We got a whole bunch. And it's great conversational starters and to share with your friends. And so share it, share it, share it, y'all. We would appreciate that. We're also on Instagram. You can share it on the Instagram, on your TikTok, whatever. Share the clips. We will appreciate that. Also, I want to thank some of the sponsors of the show. I want to thank Bravo Section, Button Snaps, and OUV Records. If you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit me on Instagram at Ashley Lovechild. Or you can hit my brother on his Instagram at
Bravo section underscore.
So if you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, you can hit us up on Instagram. Also, tap into the Overstand podcast every Monday at 9:30. While understand when you go overstand every Monday at 9:30 p.m. Also, I want to thank the people again for supporting my music outside of the podcast. Y'all been showing up. I've been seeing the differences in my numbers on the different multitudes of platforms, whether it's Apple music, whether it's YouTube music, whether it's Spotify, whether it's SoundCloud. I'm seeing y'all pop up. And again, I want to thank y'all for supporting and showing that love. I'm working on a new album, but in the meaning between time, again, just type in Ashley Lovechild and all my music will pop up. Bro, I know you want to tap into your website.
BigBravoSection.com.
Make sure y'all tap in, get that photography. Rowan Jack, I'm always trying to be the best version of myself. It just turns out all the best versions of me are smoking cigarettes. Well, I mean, again, you just got to keep plugging along, and I'm pretty sure you're harder on yourself than what you think your results is. You just got to continue to move and groove to be the best version of yourself because what's the what's the outcome of that if you don't move to be the best version of yourself? You're falling into mediocrity and you're going to live and lay in mediocrity and you're not a mediocre person. So continue to move in the best being the best version of yourself. All right, y'all. Yo, that's been a dope show, man. Again, we appreciate y'all tapping in. Again, we're on every Thursday, every Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that share button. Hit them hearts on the way out, y'all. We want to see them hearts. Tap them hearts on the way out. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all, and y'all already know it's love. And we out of here. And we see y'all this Sunday at 10:30. We out.